Here's Gary, right on cue, Chairman.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, John.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Let me just take you through the normal protocol for this. Could you please turn off your cameras as you're not speaking, just to protect the bandwidth, and mute yourself if you're not speaking. Philip, you turn your camera off when you're not speaking. Thank you. This is the Standards Committee on the 11th January 2021. I apologise for it being postponed as there was a clash of meetings. In the meeting is Imogen Shepherd-Dubray, Wayne Smith, John Horsell, Prugy, Graham Owl, and John Kaiser from the Council. In attendance as officers are Jenny Lee, Andrew Moulton, and Neil Carr. So please turn off your mobile phones. There are no absences other than the two parish council representatives. I don't know what's happened to them. Looking at the last meeting, told my reception for.
Apologies, you may have missed me. I've just arrived. Sorry for being fractionally late.
I'm not sure I can do anything about the reception. So, rest of the previous meeting, going to pages 5 and 6. Anybody has anything to say? Prue.
Thank you. Let's turn my camera on to speak. It's not about the minutes of the last meeting, but there's nowhere to put this. I was very disconcerted to find the agenda for this meeting says clearly 7 o'clock, and yet the meeting doesn't start until 7:30. And that's unfortunate. I think if we've advertised to the public a meeting that starts at 7 o'clock, we should have started it at 7 o'clock. It's in my mod agenda.
Thank you. Point noted. Any other comments on the minutes of the meeting? It was a nice short meeting, 25 minutes, which is lovely. I hope this one is the same. Right, moving on to the agenda of this meeting, Philip.
Oh, I got there very quick. Thank you, Chair.
Turning your camera on.
I'm sorry?
We have declarations of interest first.
Declaration of interest, John.
Declarations of interest. Thank you very much, Imogen. Any declarations of interest? No? Thank you. Philip.
Good evening, Councillor Halsall and members of the Standards Committee. What arrangements are in place for councillors to be trained in fulfilling their duties and understanding the various protocols in the borough's constitution, particularly where they apply to the conduct of councils?
Thank you very much for your question, Philip, and Happy New Year to you. The Standards Committee aims to achieve the highest ethical standards in line with the 7 known principles of newly elected councillors training, which outlines the standard of behaviour required and the importance of establishing and maintaining the trust of residents. The training also covers areas such as the declaration of personal and prejudicial interests, access to information, and the member officer protocol. Supplementary guidance is also provided on common issues which arise through the investigation complaints. As an example, the development of guidance on the use of social media is currently under consideration. Do you have a supplementary, Philip?
Yes. In my question, Chairman, I referred to the protocols contained in the Constitution, which members must follow rigorously. My supplementary question is to ask you, Chairman, please, to guide me through the very short paragraph in the Constitution 9.1.1a bracket at the beginning of Chapter 9, Ethics and Corporate Governance. I'm sure Mr. Moulton or Mr. Carr or Ms. Lee can read out the relevant passage.
I'm sorry, Philip. I'm going to have to give you a written answer to that. It's not something which immediately comes to mind, and I don't have.
Well, we've got three officials with us. Very much. To save time, I've just emailed a paragraph to each member of the committee. I hope that can be helpful.
Philip, it doesn't work like that. Thank you. Thank you very much for the question.
I cannot accept that. It is quite straightforward, Chairman. This is a standards committee, and the chapter 9.1.1 specifically speaks of the composition and membership of the.
I'm sorry, Philip, but it's not a room for debate.
Sorry, Chairman, I haven't hand up.
Carry on the agenda.
Could I ask a question, please?
Yes.
I have failed to see where we have been notified of that public question. It's not published on the council website with the agenda, and it's not in the papers that have been sent to me. Maybe we've been emailed it this afternoon, but it's not available to the public on the website as an update or a question that's come in. So I don't know where it is. So I find it very odd that we're not being notified properly of the public question either. Sorry.
Fair enough. Thank you, Prue. So moving on to the agenda. There's no members' questions. Right, page 7, consultation with the code of conduct for councillors. Neil, would you like to take us through it? Philip, please, could you turn your camera off?
Chairman, with your permission, if I could take you through this report, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, so yeah, pages 7 to 22. So you'll recall at the last meeting of the committee, you agreed to a consultation with the public and interested parties on the Committee for Standards in Public Life's best practice suggestions or recommendations across 15 areas. So that consultation has taken place. The closing date was the 11th of December. We we presented all 15 examples of best practice in that consultation, and there were 4 particular areas that we asked for specific feedback on. I'm pleased to say, and I want to just say and put on the record, Chairman.
Andrew,
yes.
Have you still got your hand up for a question, Prue? Prue? No? Oh, sorry. Carry on, okay. Andrew.
Okay, yeah.
Hand, obviously.
I just wanted to say thank you.
I thought I'd taken it down.
Just to say thank you to the 2 residents, individual councillors, the Liberal Democrat group and various town and parish councils who responded to the consultation. You've got that in your pack tonight in the second appendix in this bundle. But if I can just bring the committee to the 4 areas that we asked specific questions on. So it was firstly best practice recommendation 1, which was around social media. This was a recommendation to clarify and to provide additional guidance to councillors when they're using social media, and I'll mention that in the next report that you've got tonight as well. Certainly from my perspective as monitoring officer, that seems a sensible suggestion, and I think there was support from that in the feedback that was provided in the consultation. The next specific area was best practice note 5 around gifts and hospitality, and there was quite a difference in terms of the feedback there, in terms of keeping the existing limits around the requirement to record councillors' gifts and hospitality, as opposed to increasing to up to £100. So there were different views there, so it would be appropriate to get the committee's view on how you'd like to take that particular point forward. There was then best practice note 9, which you'll recall that particular issue has been discussed on more than one occasion at the committee in the past, and this is the issue around the so-called informal route when we're dealing with a code of conduct complaints and where a member has been found to be in breach, but by following the informal route to resolution, the member's name is not placed in the public domain. In the consultation, we presented 3 possible options as to how we might either change in the terms of terms of options 2 and 3, or indeed keep things as they are in terms of option 1. And again, we got some different feedback on that point, so I think that's one for the committee to focus on this evening. And then the 4th area was best practice note 11, which was specifically for towns and parishes, and this is around support for the clerk, for the town or parish clerk, with regard to any code of conduct complaints and how that process should be supported by the wider parish or town council as a corporate body, and indeed the chair of the council as well. Just before I hand back to you, Chairman, just to say in terms of sort of process, hopefully tonight the committee can advise across those 4 areas in particular how you'd like to take those forward. There would then be a recommendation from the Standards Committee to the Corporate Review Working Group, which would then go on to a future council meeting for the constitution in which the code of conduct sits to be changed. So I'm going to pause there, Chairman, and hand back to you in terms of particularly those 4 areas for discussion and agreement by the committee.
Could you remind me of the 4 paragraphs that you...
Yes. So it's 1, 5, 9 and 11 are the 4 that we ask for specific comments from the consultees.
Well, let me then members through the items which aren't 1, 5, 9, 11.
John, can you please turn your video off, because we might actually be able to hear you then, because you're very broken up.
Okay.
Thanks.
Is that better?
A little bit.
Is that better?
It's a bit better, yes.
Ironically, we had a presentation early in the evening from... Anyway, right. Best practice 2, which is council should include provisions in the code of conduct requiring councillors comply with their formal standards investigation, prohibiting and manipulations by councillors. If I just run through best practice 2, best practice 3, which is councils should review their code of conduct each year and regularly seek, where possible, the views of the public. Best practice 4, an authorities code accessible to both the councillors and the public in a prominent position on the council's website. 6, council should publish a clear and investigations which can be filtered. 7, local authority should have access to at least 2 persons who provide independent input and comment into the complaints process. 8, and should be consulted as whether the investigation into a complaint should be given the option to view and comment on allegations which the responsible officer might dismiss as being without merit, vexatious or trivial. And then best practice 10, council should have a straightforward and access on their website to make a complaint under the code of conduct, process for handling complaints and estimated timescales for investigation and outcomes. Wow. I have one other ones. 12, 13. 12 is about monitoring officers' roles. 13, local authorities should address any conflicts of interest. And 14, council should report on separate bodies they have set up, which they own as part of their local government statement. And 15, with a political group which to discuss the code of conduct issues. So, can I have any views on that lot? Which seems to be the least contentious, which we're not seeking. Sally.
Sorry, I actually have a hand up. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
It says you. And
Sally, where are you?
Sorry, can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yeah.
We could hear you fine before.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
The battery just died on my headset at the same time. I apologise. I had my hand up for a little while. I don't have a specific comment about those, but I did want to apologise that the Wokingham Town Council feedback fell down it got dropped through the cracks by myself, having seen that it's not in here. Can I just say that all the comments we would have raised have been covered by other councils, and the short version from Wokingham Town Council was best practice 1 we agreed, best practice 5 there was a strong view that it didn't need to be raised. Best practice 9, there was a strong view that everything should be published. I think other councils have said the wordy versions. And best practice 11, Finchampton Parish Council more or less wrote the same thing we said, that yes, town council should take corporate responsibility, but absolutely clerks should still be able to make complaints direct.
Imogen.
Hello.
Imogen.
Yes. I'd like to raise a point of order because we got 3 executive members on this standards committee, and under point 911A, we're not meant to be having 3 executive members on this standards committee, and so this meeting is unconstitutional. Did that make any sense?
What? I hear what you say. We've been running this committee in that way for
under point 911A.
Just raised it.
We are under point 911A. We've got 3 executive members of this standards committee on this standard committee, and I understand that that's unconstitutional. I don't know.
From where do you understand that?
Andrew, would you like to confirm?
Yes, Chairman. Just looking at the particular part of the Constitution that Councillor Shepherd-Dubé quoted there, that I think there is a fair point there that we need to have a look at to just pick that up. I think it may be appropriate for us to adjourn to tonight's meeting, given what Councillor Shepherd-Dubé has drawn to our attention here. just so that we can reconvene and make sure that we're not contravening the council's constitution here. As I say, I've only just seen that particular point this evening, so I would need time to have a look at that properly. You know, obviously this standards committee has been operating for some time now.
Chairman, can you hear me?
I am. Yes, John.
Yes. Am I correct in thinking as well, Andrew, that the leader of the council is not entitled to be a member of the standards committee?
This is what I'm reading in terms of information that's just been circulated, but I would need to check that. But it does stay on the information that I'm reading here, which I think Councillor Shepherd-Debay has also got.
This is the point that Philip was raising, Andrew.
Yes.
It was provoked by Philip, not Imogen. This is the point that Philip raised at the beginning, which is just circulated to members. Yeah.
To be fair, I got a phone call and I looked at it. I thought, ooh, here we are. So.
Yeah, as I say, Chairman, I would need to take that away and have a look at it. It's not.
Could I take questions before we do? I've got Imogen. I think you've just spoken. John.
Surely we cannot continue.
Yeah?
We cannot continue.
Committee.
We cannot continue.
John.
Okay.
Thank you, John. I was about to agree with
Imogen. Gary.
I was about to agree with Imogen that we should, and Andrew, we should terminate the meeting now and leave Andrew to sort it out and take it forward when we've worked out exactly what the rules are. It'd be pretty wrong for the Standards Board to be unconstitutional. I think we'd need to steer away from that. So I would say to go along with Imogen and Andrew, and we should sort of stop the meeting now.
So the meeting is closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.